Good morning to all everybody. Myself, Dr. UK Polida. Today topic is FGD, Focus Group Discussion. You know, focus group discussion is a qualitative research methods and data collections technique in which a selected group of people discuss a given topic or issue in depth and facilitated by a professional and external moderator. What is FGD? First, I'll give introductions about that of the topics. In focus group discussions, participants are free to talk with other groups members and about research methods, and it encourages discussions with other participants. Generally, in FGD, 8 to 12 members persons present in FGD group discussions. FGD is lead to moderator and interviewer. That means you can talk about a moderator or interviewer and a note taker. A group discussions, compositions and a group discussions should be carefully planned and create a good environment so that the participant freely talk and openly share his or her opinion. And the second point is that is of participants are actively encouraged to not only express their own opinion but also respond to other members and questions and posed by the leaders, and focus group offered in-depth and variety of discussions and would not be available through the survey. FGD are structured and directly but also express. They can wield a lot of information and relatively short times. That means in short times we can gather a lot of knowledge, data, and fulfill our objective. Therefore, FGD are good way to gather in-depth information about the communities and throw the opinion on a topics. The course you can talking about this discussions usually the plan to advance and most of moderator and relay that is of outline and guides to ensure their all topics and interests are covered. When starting to FGD, that's times we should be focused. That is how to settle a arrangement, sitting arrangement styles. That is a very important to how to sit. That means sitting arrangement is a unique point of FGD arrangement. In selection of a focus group site, it is important to make it the geographical convenience that is of a participant. Locations that are the hard to find may cause delay or schedules problems. The problems or tapes recorders you can talking about that is of at the time of you just sitting. That is of all respondents who are sittings. That's times the tape recorder will pick off and background noise and stores at the middle for participant. That is of type that is of participant, the middle of the participant. And the discussions rooms would be free outside disturbance. And also that is of all participants should be arranged to sit around the table or a groups to enable them to see and hear one another. This is the important point. And next is, what is the main key feature of FGD? That is the first point is involve the organized discuss with a selected group of individuals to gain the information about their views and express of a topics. Particularly suited that is often several perspectives about the same topics, helps in the gaining insight into the people's and share understanding of the everyday life and the way which is the individual influence by other groups situations, and the role the moderator is very significant. A good levels of the group leadership and interpersonal skill are required to moderate a group of successful. Next point is a skill required to conduct FGD. When you start to FGD, that's times the skill is very important to conduct a FGD. If we talk about research, the research need to flexible and free of business to the prejudicial activities of a moderator. That means if you continue to research, you should be identify that is of main problems, topics to be investigated, and both theoretical and practical knowledge. Language is very important point in skill power in FGD. Group process skill. It is important to know how to manage the interview so that one or two people do not dominate to each other, and so that those participants who tend to this highly verbally able to share their views, and training to experience conduct group discussions. This is a very important because a skilled moderator can unknowingly inhibit the free flow of the discussions and draw the unjustifiable conclusion and finding. It is a very important point to understand to skill power and skill required in conduct of FGD. Choose of participant. It is a very important point. Choose of participant. That is, a choose of participant is another which is more important successful conduct of FGD. For example, we should be properly focused on age, gender, and ethnicity. And that is for next point is the set of FGD. That is how to setting a FGD. That is of planning for FGD. Identify your goal and objects. Identify questions. Identify people, participant, and the moderators. Select time, place, environment. Conduct research, evaluations, and finding of data and reporting. That is the next levels we can talking about methodology of FGD. That is of some point is need at the time of that is of methodology, problem, definitions. What is your problems? What is your objective? That's need to wear. That is a problem definitions, identifications of sample, identification of moderators, generations and pre-testing of FGD schedules, opening questions, introductory questions, transitions questions, key questions, ending questions, all things considered of questions, and summary and final questions. And also that is of next levels we want to, that is of talking about before conducting of FGD, set off your venue, quiet is a quiet environment, selected a quiet environment, and equipment in advance. You can talking about recording, that recording equipment also, that of recruit participants for FGD, prepare resources, prepare introductions and questions, plans to arrive early, and assembly recording equipment and the room. It is that is before conducting of FGD. And the next point is during FGD. At the time of FGD, how to control to FGD and durations of FGD. The FGD timing to need some points. Welcome to FGD. Distribute name cards, introductions, overview, propose and the format of FGD. Inform consent, explain recording methods, set ground rule and norms, ensure proper and comfortable sitting arrangement, maintain proper eye contact, monitoring the recording and equipment through the discussions, write notes on the note makings, note takings from about and what people say and what you observe. Present questions one by ones. Do not forget proofs. Practice active listenings. Remains neutrals. Publish answer if necessary. Synthesize all type of answers and question answers. And thanks to group for participants. And that is of second point is in this that is the next point is does that is of some point is the need to in FGD that is of P award the name the lessons of this name object wear cloth and that is of fit in the what you they wear act like the participant do the equal look innocent as do not know things even if you do have you all the questions planned and your jobs it is the simply facilitated to focus group happens it should be almost run itself once you have it tracks start with the open questions the first question should be the general to get the peoples and warm up and say about the participant view about the topics if here sometimes that is happened to the here before ask person to tell you more about it. If someone gives a general methods and motherboard's language, that is of language points, that means you can example. If someone share a opinion, check with the others group whether they share the views, and that is of important point is by the regularly ask questions specific peoples to draw people in. Feel free to change the order and questions if someone's bring up some things that relate to a later questions and that is of second point is you don't do these things in FGD that is of avoid some things in a FGD do not ask leading questions knowns that might to suggest you are looking for the particularly answer. Don't ask yes or no questions as this does not open up. Discuss through if you in and advantageously that is a follow and with why and don't ask double of barrel questions double meaning and double barreled questions people cannot answer two questions at a once do not tell people they are wrong do not correct them and don't express any point of view never say we'll be talking about that latter not now if someone sincerely say don't pressurize them to speak don't impressed if you do not understand some things and go ahead to ask from explanations you are missing two explanations explain the unknown and unclear that is of ambiguous and never gossip about the focus group after the study this is a very important point or some point to control and avoid in FGD and then to talking about analysis and interpretations of the data that is a 4 point of data analysis you can that is a point is the transcript basis tape basis and note basis and memory basis and that is a content analysis means consider the words consider the context consider the internal consistency and consider the intensity of the comments consider the specificity of response and finding the big idea and this is a very important point to data analysis and interpretations and the next point is the ground rule is a very important point at the time of data collections and control to FGD Only one person speak at a time. In ground rules should be control and focus on ground rule. Give everyone an equal chance to participate in discussions. Respect the opinion of others. Don't put down or criticize to others' comments. Respect the privacy of others in group by the not repeating what is discussed outside of the group. And next point is that is of closure. Discussion is summarized by the facilitator or not be keepers, and participant clarify and confirm the informations. Any remaining questions from the participant are answered, and participant at the thanks to next steps and indicate data analysis and reportings. All forms and note are the gathers before the clearing the rooms, and report to materials are the kept the safety and safely inside and involve the after proper levelings, and note that they explained as soon as the possibles within 24 hours if applicables. If you will not be analysis to that of the data after 24 hour, you that is of refuse to your mind, and you can remember to that of the FGD data, you cannot explain to that of the data in a proper way. That is the first point, is that is a very very important point. If you complete to your FGD, that first is that is in 24 hour you remains, that is your remind, that is all of data, discuss data and analysis to data. And the next point is that is of you should be that is of report writings. Very simple point, that is of introductions, statement of the problems, result findings, measure them, limitations, implications of data and recommendations. And the next point is that is of a sample setup. Sample setup is a very very important point. That is the opening, warm up, main body and closure. That is the first point is ice breakings. You know that is the first at the starting of FGD. If ice breaking part and explain propose, what is your propose and ground rules, introduction, relate of experience, stimulate group interactions, start with the threatenings and the simplest questions, move to more threatenings and sensitivity and the simple questions, elicit drift and response and connect the immense data and the complex and broad participations, and into closer type of questions and summarize and refine to the invite of the final comment and insight thanks to participant. And the next point is we want to, that is of discussion is a very very important point, that is of a day main topics. Day main topics means that is of if you plan for diabetes, any that is of FGD topics, you can talking about cancer, you can talking about diabetes, you can talking about other diseases, other problems. What is your agenda, what is your goal, what is your that is of questions and objectives. So that is of, if you fix the topics that is of diabetes, first your introduction, that is a main topic part, main topic point, that is of introduction to research study and consent, understanding of diabetes. I'm talking about diabetes, that is of risks and lifestyles, stress and diabetes, healthcare experience and a review of a workup. That is the main point of main topics, and that is of soft questions will be arranged, and that is of create that is of under main topic, that is of question 1 2 3 4 up to that is of ends, that is of 100 of question, that is up to you, that is a plan and designing. After that, that is of this that is FGD plans, that is a focus, that is of FHI.org, that is a follow to, that is a rule and regulations. That is a very simple point. And the next point of logistics, and logistics means that is a mean logistics. What is the requirement in a FGD? That is the logistics. Selection of a moderator and note takers, well set of responsibility of moderator and note takers, number of peoples of focus groups, revenue, that is of a venue and times of a FGD, identify very important, that is a very very participants and FGD notes of note takers, well functions, record equipments, share of that is of batteries, all kind of things, and find notes, that is of logistics. And second point is that is of advantages, What are the advantages of FGD? Easy to set up, fast and relative expense, free to open discussion among the respondent, result and the generations of a new idea, and that can be useful for discussion making, expressions other than those of verbally from the such as gastro the stimulate activities can provide the research and with the useful insights, and that is of advantages. You can talking about detailed informations about the personals and group feelings and perceptions, opinions can be obtained. A focus group is not be statics and very flexible. The moderator can be bring the changes in order to the better facilitate and discussions during the group or discussions, allowing the better result and a term of information and derived by the focus groups. They capture real lives and the data in a social environment, and researchers can increase the sample size and qualitative research. And also that is of we can talking about that is of our limitations. In limitations, some researcher topic that is of suitables for focus group environment. That is must you know that of limitations means you should be that is of some things to avoid in this, that is of topics, that is of some research topic is not suitable for FGD. We should be the plan for other way. For example, SIV, sexual knowledge, fertility, financial status. We should try to for IDI. The personal experience in the that is in front of colleagues, and negative idea that is of not allowed, and that is of in FGD. That is a focus, and that is avoid these things in a FGD. That's of mention in this limitations point, and after that, that is of completely talking about sociodemography profiles, that is of data sheet to prepare how to gathering data, that is of consent. You can talking about consent and social activities, that is of mention some that is of signatures of participants, that is of contact numbers, email ID, age, sex, positions. So the lot of things you can that is of capture, and that is collections from that is of members which are that is of respondents members that is of presented in FGD. So this is a general idea, and that is a thought of FGD in this presentations. Thank you so much. Thank